I've seen a flying saucer.
You've seen one?
Yes,
Where was this?
definitely.
Unidentified aerial phenomena.
To cover up our mistakes.
I've met people who swear they've seen Bigfoot.
Join us for a journey into the obscure.
You are now listening to The Wow Pod.
Okay, well, welcome to the show.
Welcome, welcome.
And today we're the main part of the show is we're talking about like the head exorcist for, or he was the head exorcist for the Vatican.
Yeah.
You know, Chelsea was just commenting on Chelsea Vario was commenting on your foot fetish fish.
It was really strange, Chelsea.
Yeah, she said she liked it. Misty doesn't seem like she does. So we'll start off. I got some news. An Eagle Mountain woman faces criminal charges after police say she willed a dead man sitting in an office chair into a motel room.
Okay, Eagle Mountain, like right here in Utah.
Yes, we are in Florida of the Midwest, or Florida of the Intermountain.
Now, we had that weird one in Tooele, too.
Oh, we did, yeah.
The lady kept him in the freezer.
Yes. This girl is Junior, that lady.
Yeah, that lady was hardcore.
Okay, bear with me. This lady has a lot of names. Francesca Delfina Farias Swenson. She's only 21.
Wow.
She's charged. She was charged Monday in 4th District Court with abuse or desecration of a dead body. It's a 3rd-degree felony. Obstruction of justice, that's a Class A misdemeanor. And failing to report finding a dead body is a Class B misdemeanor.
Okay, so lay this out for me. What happened?
Oh, I'm getting there.
She just found like random. Hi, Shirley. She just found like random. Okay.
No.
Okay.
On July 6th, the police were called to America's Best Inn and Suites in after Farias and another man were seen pushing the body of the deceased into the motel parking lot on a wheeled office chair, according to charging documents. So it's like,
what? They weren't even in a wheelchair. It was like an office chair.
Yeah.
That's just one step
They're
above
like,
a shopping cart.
They're like cruising them around the parking lot, like playing office games with him, spinning him around. Further investigations revealed that the defendant took pictures and videos of the deceased. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. Took pictures and videos of the deceased as he was overdosing and for some time after he had died. Some of these videos and images were captioned with phrases like Vogue, like Madonna.
So they should be charged with like, I mean,
drug kids and don't do drug kids.
Wow. So they didn't provide him any help. They took pictures and pushed him around.
She began recording videos at about 6:45 a.m. that day. A video taken at 11:09 shows the deceased experiencing agonal breathing, and it is believed that these are his last breaths.
Who's this? What's her name?
You're gonna make me say
We're going to make you famous.
Francesca Delfina Farias Swenson.
Miss Swenson.
Yeah.
You deserve everything coming to you.
So about an hour later, she
is an accomplice to a crime.
Yeah. Another hour, she made a film with the victim, and you could see that he had started showing the beginning stages of composition. And then from 4:47 a.m., this be the next day, to 12 p.m., or no, that day, 4:40. Okay, no, from 4:47 a.m. to 12:10 p.m. she made 34 phone calls, FaceTime videos, and Facebook Messenger calls. None were to contact emergency services. Let me get that little dog. Dozer, come here. Come here.
Yeah, this lady needs.
Yeah.
She needs to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I mean,
makes you wonder what they can charge her with.
well, accessory to, I would say, at least manslaughter.
Well, the guy overdosed.
Yeah, but she watched. Patricia says, "My dog.
Yeah,
Come and get her."
Patricia loves
She's
that dog.
noisy.
What? Let's go on. She said
she does need to go to hell. Yeah.
The police asked her if she regretted calling 911, and she stated that she did not because she was at peace. People die all the time.
Okay, say her name again for those of you in Utah. One more time. She's got too many names for me to remember.
Francesca.
Francesca.
I do not see an H.
The C is a ch.
Huh. How about that?
Francesca.
Delphi. How come the last C is not a ch? Francesca.
I don't make the rules.
Delphina Farias Swenson. We'll show her a picture real quick.
Yep. People like her. No. When someone is in distress.
The sad thing is she's 21.
Yeah.
She's young.
She's already that stupid at 21. Well, all 21 years of her existence has culminated in this level of stupidity. I mean, this guy's suffering.
Yeah, bias.
Sure. But you have an opportunity to help.
I agree. I agree for sure.
Yeah.
How far gone was she at the time?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Creep.
But yeah, so yeah, she's been charged. They didn't state who the man was that was seen frolicking through the parking lot, pushing the deceased.
Her accomplice.
Yeah. And so Farias and the man had removed evidence of overdose from the scene and hid other items in the water tank of the toilet or by flushing them. So yeah, that's
special place for you, my dear.
Yeah, that's probably gonna carry some.
I hope that there is such a thing as this karmic will that we've talked about, because there's a special life next for you.
Yeah.
People like you come back as slugs.
Yes.
My story. Do you want to go to mine next?
Yeah, let's go on to yours.
Okay. Mine kind of goes along with today, just the macabre.
Macabre,
if we want to be specific. So this is something are you sharing the picture?
Not yet. You want me to share it?
Yeah. So share the picture. This is something that if vampires do come calling, you may want to have one of these. You may want to be prepared. Yes.
And you can get them. And I did a cursory search. You can get them for as low as like $500.
An antique one?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if they just made a lot of these.
Or
some
inventive guy did not just make a lot of these.
Perhaps.
When you go to fire that flintlock, you'll find out.
It'll become perfectly clear. Okay. Antique vampire slaying kit is up for auction. It includes a Bible, of course, a crucifix, and a pistol. So
now if you get a fake one and the pistol doesn't fire and the Bible's made of fake paper and holy water is just water, you might be in trouble.
You could be in deep.
You need to get a vampire friend to try it out on first. Just a light splashing and shooting. And maybe have him read a bit of Matthew to you or something.
This kit is estimated to be worth between $2,500 and $3,700, according to the Hanson's auctioneers in Derbyshire, England. So it's taking bids on the box beginning July 21st. There's still time, people.
Yep,
This is pretty cool.
It's a lovely box. I tried blowing the picture up.
It would be cool to have that in the podcast room in case, Cardboardo ever brings forth a vampire.
If anyone wants to donate this box to us, don't just send me the money.
Lined with crimson silk. Inside the lid, it's got an oval enamel painting showing Christ's resurrection. Apparently, that's pretty important in a vampire box.
Mm-hmm.
Though it is uncertain if the contents of the box are also suitable for dispatching werewolves, the auction only lists or mentions vampires. So if you're looking for a werewolf box, this may not be your cup of tea. It's got a copy of the New Testament.
Yeah, you need a silver bullet for a werewolf box.
Yeah, and
a chew
steak.
Toy. A steak. You throw the steak out. They go to chew on the steak. But you got to replace the steak often.
Otherwise,
remember, well, dogs will eat pretty rough steak, but you want to replace it often. You don't want to throw out an old green steak for the werewolf.
And this is something that I hadn't heard of before. So inside the box are 8 compartments holding a copy of the New Testament, published in 1842, of course, a knife with a silver blade.
Mm-hmm. For the werewolf.
Makes total sense. A percussion cap pocket pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pliers.
To remove the sharpened teeth after you've killed them before you bury them and stake them to the ground.
Why would you remove the teeth?
So that when they come up and they go to bite someone, it's like an old lady gumming.
Jared, I've never heard of that before.
Nothing happened. I'm just guessing. I'm shooting off the hip.
Crucifixes.
Oh, must have.
Rosary beads, of course. Just okay, that makes sense. Now this, a small bottle containing shark's teeth.
Ooh.
Why? What don't I know about vampires?
We're going to have to dig in deeper. That'll be a future show.
Yeah. So vampire folklore and the belief in vampires can be traced to the ancient world. Indeed, burials dating to more than 1,000 years ago in Europe, they did safeguards during these burials to protect the living against the restless undead.
That's what the stake came from, isn't it?
And they were pinned in place with rocks or iron bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand the shark teeth. Again, tonight we have a call-in that's live, 437-838-5171 on Zoom.
Yeah.
If you're so inclined and happen to know why the hell there's shark teeth.
If you know anything about, if you're Johnny on the fly with
shark teeth and vampires
hunting knowledge,
Johnny on the fly. I don't get it. Why shark teeth?
We'll call you in, and you don't have to show your face. You can
you can just call and just
anonymous.
Stay anonymous. If you don't want the people in your life to know you know that much about vampire teeth or shark teeth.
All right, I've got another story. It's an older one. It's a year old. But I came across it, and
Shirley says Salem witch trials. She has relatives who were hung. Oh, Shirley.
Really?
We haven't done the Salem witch trials yet, but perhaps if we make that a call-in show, you could call and tell us about it.
Yeah.
We've got to do that show. It's just so in-depth. You got to study and prepare.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one.
That's where it gets awful political, too.
It really does.
Oh.
Okay. Bless you.
Excuse me, I was whittling a sneeze out there. Holy cow. All right, so a year ago in Troy, Missouri, the Troy swimming pool was evacuated and closed abruptly after an intoxicated couple came to visit the pool.
Okay.
You ever sneeze so good you're seeing those little stars?
Yeah.
Man.
Flying around.
Anyways, Briley and Dustin Pons are each being held on a $200,000 or $2,500 bond at Troy PD, according to Sergeant Dick Decent. Is there not a better name on this earth for a cop? Dick Decent.
His parents were like,
He whistles.
"We want you to be in law enforcement."
He whistles while he swings the club as he walks down the street. Dick Decent. God dang, he couldn't have done anything else. The pool was packed when the couple stripped naked and entered.
Okay.
Dustin. Well, first Briley, the steps into the pool in the corner. She got laid back on them steps all comfortably like yonder, right?
Okay.
And Dustin yelled, Cleveland steamer.
You're going to have to enlighten me. I don't know what a Cleveland steamer is.
And then he
maybe I don't want to know.
Straddled her above her chest at a public pool and evacuated.
No, he did not.
Upon said chest.
No, he did not. That is not enough bail. They need to make it higher.
Dick Decent said, "Damnedest thing I ever seen this week."
He did not. No. What's his name? Look at him.
Dustin Pounds. I'll share a picture of him here in just a second.
His name is what?
Dustin Pounds. Parks Department officials said
no.
3 employees quit when they were instructed to clean it up.
Yeah, no. That should be part of the sentence. You nasties, you got to come and clean it up yourself.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Have a look at these two.
What were they wearing?
Nothing. They got naked.
I can't.
He came in and straddled her.
She yelled Cleveland steamer?
He did.
Did she? Is she a victim?
I don't know. She doesn't look like one, but she looks like. I hope Mom and Dad doesn't see this.
Listen, we need to get a message to her. Blink twice if you wanted this to happen. If not, we'll know you're a victim. If she was a victim of that level of assault, that is terrible.
At a public pool.
Oh, no, they didn't. No.
Oh, James said he had a distant relative who was a witch by the name of Rebecca Nurse.
See, those are cool stories.
Yeah.
Those are cool stories. Well, it's sad because it was political. And if you look at kind of like the deep, it looked like a land grab.
I can't believe people actually did that. I thought it was folklore.
Oh,
Not the witch part, the Cleveland steamer part.
that's disgusting. I hope she's not a victim of that and she went to jail. Lady, say you're a victim. Do it now. Save your reputation. There's no helping him.
Oh, it's all squidgy.
Ew. Can't. I can't. Why does that have a name? Why has this been done enough times to be given a name?
All the little kids swimming. The old people got the
My granddaughter
rope with the floaty things on it that they're making laps with. Some 12-year-olds running down the diving board and catches witness, just kind of slides and falls off.
No, I'm telling you, my granddaughter would be saying Cleveland steamer forever. Don't say that. Cleveland steamer. Don't say that. Cleveland steamer. That is terrible. Hi, Miss Tracy. Thanks for joining us tonight.
That's too much.
Oh, that can't be true.
Okay.
Make it stop. Make it stop.
So we're going to talk through a little bit of a video. It's in Italian, so I'm not going to play the sound.
Is this okay? So let's set this up. What is a possession?
Well,
I mean, is there a definition?
it's when
Do they rate them?
It's when demons take over your body, I guess. In the olden days, a lot of it was probably psychosis that was attributed to the supernatural.
Correct. That's whenever I see people who claim to have had an exorcism done or things of that nature, I automatically think there's a mental health issue.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's the most common thing. And supposedly, from what I've seen on popular TV shows that I've watched,
you vomit a lot.
That they test that stuff. They test for mental health issues before an exorcism is conducted by a priest.
Okay.
Now, Father Amorth is he was the exorcist for the Diocese of the Vatican.
Okay.
And he was kind of the head exorcist of the Catholic Church up until I think it was up until up until 2000. He retired in 2000.
Wow.
He was born in 52, retired in 2000. He became an apprentice exorcist. How do you tell that to people? Like, I would say, how do you say that on a first date? But
how do
he's
you
a father. He didn't have to worry about the first dates.
How do you
I mean,
how do you get to be an exorcist? I mean, is this something as a little boy you're like, I want to be a fireman?
He maybe sought it out. Maybe he was a young man in Long Island when an old priest went to exorcise out of a 11-year-old girl, and he was called in as the assistant. I don't know. That's off The Exorcist.
That's a strange, yeah.
Yeah, but
because it's not just in the movies, people. The Catholic Church had a brash of possessions, and they had to go out and find hundreds of exorcists not that long ago.
Yeah.
I would argue that some people I see on the news today could be exorcised.
Yep.
Or in college campuses.
So we're going to watch this video and give a audible play-by-play, one for people who only listen, and also as you're seeing it through our screen, it might be hard to read. And again, it's in Italian, so I've turned the sound down quite a bit. Okay. How many are you, he asks her. We are legion. So there's two guys holding a lady down, and the father has his hand on her forehead. And you can still hear her voice sounds kind of. In the name of God, when are you going to leave? Never.
So that nobody's laughing. Well, he's kind of smiling.
Is he smiling or is he struggling?
It could be. I don't know. He looks like he's sweating.
Yeah, you just see sweat drip off.
So they're taking this pretty seriously. The priest is ordering the demon to leave.
Now, supposedly, this is not a real exorcism from what I looked into it. It might be, but that is supposedly the actual exorcist, Father Amorth. Right there is what it says.
The one in the purple tie or
Yeah.
the purple sash. So I hadn't heard much about him, but
I'd never heard about him at all.
He was interviewed a couple of times where he was asked, are you afraid of demons? And he said, no, they're afraid of me.
Yeah.
He was pretty sure of himself.
Yeah, he and this video goes on for quite a while.
Exhausting work.
Yeah.
Exorcising demons.
And he's kind of a scary looking old dude.
Look at his eyes.
Yeah.
The demons have come into
I
him.
wonder if I can zoom in on this. I don't know if I can. I'll try sharing it. And
Yeah, he's an interesting looking guy.
yeah.
Maybe he was dapper in his younger age.
Yeah. Yeah. He may have been. Yeah, it won't let me zoom in. Okay, but anyways, he's he became a priest, but we're gonna run through his.
Anyone saying let the power of Christ compel you? I think that's just in Hollywood. Although I say it sometimes in my house. The power of Christ compels you.
I say that to a little dog a lot. Anyways, so he was born May 1925, and he passed away in September of 2016.
Whoa.
An Italian Catholic priest, exorcist of the Diocese of Rome, and he performed tens of thousands of exorcisms over his 60 plus years as a priest. Excuse me. He was the appointed exorcist of the Diocese of Rome, so that means he was the chief exorcist of the Vatican.
Is that crazy to anyone else? They had a chief exorcist? Another thing I read that was really interesting is a lot of people would call in themselves to say they were possessed. And that the initial interview would be to determine if that were true. Like, how do I know?
That's probably it. They probably, go out of the
I mean, I understand if it was 100 years ago, and then, if women didn't like to cook, they were possessed, or if they spoke ill of their husband, they were possessed. Or
they spoke at all.
If they spoke at all, they were possessed.
Seriously, come on now.
But to call yourself in and say, I think I need an exorcism. Okay, fine. There have been times that I perhaps could have, but I mean, I don't know. That's a strange thought to me.
And he's also tied in with the Fatima revelations, which will be a future show. Shirley asked, how would you know?
If you're possessed, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe you smell sulfur, or want to go lay in a pool, or stand above someone laying in a pool. He should have been called in on that.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's weird to think people call it, like, how would you know that you're possessed? Am I having just like thoughts of demonic things? And I mean, clearly that determines that I'm possessed, or
define demonic things.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Yeah.
Is there a hotline? Is there a hotline? You voted Democrat. That's how you know. David Feist says you voted Democrat. You get out with your little sticker. You're like, I got to call a priest.
The power of Trump compels you.
You could be exorcised. So James Conger says Art Bell used to have a Catholic priest.
Malachi Martin. Malachi Martin's kind of the big tie-in. Him and Malachi Martin were friends.
Malachi.
I think they call it Malachi. I'm not sure. Maybe. They were friends, and Malachi is the one who kind of wrote down. We'll get into this story deeper. I need a lot more time to prepare for that. The Fatima, and kind of, according to Malachi Martin, Satan is the Pope now.
I would agree. I've seen his red shoes, and I've done the research on the red shoes. He's definitely the devil.
All right. Well, problem solved. All right, guys. Thanks for
Shirley says, I've seen people who I thought could be possessed. Yeah, for sure. You see them in the street. They were protesting last week.
That girl, Miss Hamana Fuentes. What was her name again?
Fuentes or Swenson from this?
Swenson.
Yeah. Francesca. Maybe
Yeah.
she was possessed.
Francesca Delfina Farias Swenson. Yeah, she's
Mm.
definitely right.
She's a good one for an exorcism.
So anyway, so Amorth was born in Modena, Emilia Romagna, Italy in 1925. And he was ordained a Roman Catholic priest in 54. And he became an official exorcist in 86 under the tutelage of Father Candido Amentini. He sounds like a drink.
I like some or a disease.
Now, I guess in the Catholic Church, there's a lot of kind of societies. You've heard of the Jesuits, and he was a member of the Society of St. Paul. Yeah. All right. And in 1990, he founded the International Association of Exorcists, and he was a president until he retired in 2000.
There's like the international.
Do you think that was a group from all religions, or do you think it was just Catholicism? Because that'd be cool if you had like exorcisms from, the deepest, darkest Africa. And
What do they do when they get together?
I don't know.
Do they talk about procurement of holy water? Do they have speakers on?
Maybe they play Scrabble.
Can you imagine? They're all in there. Okay, I'm sorry. I digress.
He lived till he was 91 and died in 2016. He had pulmonary complications. That's what got him. Okay, now for the meat. Like the steak you throw to the werewolf.
That's right.
In October 2000, it was reported he had performed over 50,000 exorcisms.
Okay. So, from what I understand, the real live exorcisms are like an assault, especially if you're having a mental break. This guy
I imagine.
was like evil.
The Exorcist was evil?
Yeah, to be doing that to all these people. I mean, he either really, really believed that he was exorcising
you saw his picture.
demons.
What did you expect?
Buggy eyes. I was made for this. That's a lot.
Some of the exorcism ranged from a few minutes to several hours. In 2010, he had said that the number had increased to 70,000.
In 2010. That means
and in May
between what, 2000 and 2010, there was 20,000?
Yes. In May
Where
2013,
are these people?
He said he had performed 160,000.
Okay. If you have been exorcised, I need you to call in. Where are these people?
Well, these would be in Rome, or at least, Italy. Now, according to Father Amorth, each exorcism does not represent a victim of possession, but rather each exorcism is counted as a prayer or ritual alone.
Okay, what did he charge?
And some possession victims require hundreds of exorcisms.
I'm sensing a little Jimmy Swaggart here. What did he charge?
What did he? Christy says she needs an exorcism.
Okay, Christy, we've been talking about this because people called in themselves and would say that they were possessed and that they needed to be exorcised. Tell us, how do you know when you're possessed?
When you go to a public pool.
You do a Cleveland steamer. Definitely possessed.
Do you think she knew it was coming?
Shirley said her brother-in-law was exorcised, but he would never talk about it.
Oh man.
Did the family call? Okay, the way I imagine a possession is the inability to know you're possessed is like step one of possession. And then
Surely
the family.
You can call in and tell us about it.
Yeah, you should call in and tell us what you
Yes.
know. Yeah, good, because like the family would have to. They would have to.
There was that Law and Order though, where the priest was going around exorcising to death drug addicts.
Exorcising them to death. So Christy just knows because she knows. Okay, maybe that's probably
a purple head demon emoji.
That's probably the case for some people.
Could be.
Can you be born possessed? Can possession happen during delivery?
Like, is it passed from mother to child?
Yeah.
That's a big question. Because you wouldn't think so if you're a religious person. You'd think that the infant's born with the grace of God. But then there was that movie, The Omen.
Yeah.
With Damien. And he was a little bastard.
Perhaps he needed exorcised.
Mm-hmm.
But can you exorcise him?
I'd have tied him to that damn Doberman, had that Doberman running around. He'd have come back too exhausted to haunt.
How to exorcise him? Oh, man.
Yeah, me and that Doberman would have put him to work. I'd have had him running up and down through those trees.
Did anybody complain about this guy?
Well, there's...
what do we know about his exorcisms?
I don't know if you understand. The Catholic Church hasn't been very good lately about complaints.
That's true.
Yeah.
So Shirley says he was throwing himself on the floor. He was thrown to the ceiling. They had to hold him down. Okay.
Okay. Now that, if you're thrown to the ceiling, that's a little something different.
Even I would call a priest.
Yes.
I mean, myself.
Yeah.
I'd be like, something really weird happened.
I think first I would try my hand at basketball. I'd only be able to dunk.
If that didn't work, exorcism is your second go-to.
Like Teen Wolf it, dunk over the back of the opposing player.
God. Okay, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
So, how many did he say before he retired?
160,000 in the course of his ministry. Now, Edward Peters, he's a professor of canon law. He finds Amorth's claim to have personally performed 30,000 exorcisms over 9 years astounding. Even accepting that Amorth's claim that only 94, not 9,400, just 94 of his 30,000 exorcisms represented full-blown possession. Because just that 94 would have required roughly one case a month.
Yeah. So the rest, to make up that 160,000 number, were more like prayers.
Yeah, and every time I guess he prayed. Now, that priest that was going to fly over Brazil,
and then dump holy water
in that military helicopter, and was going to just airdrop holy water on the whole city. Now, he might rack up some numbers. We need to keep a close eye on that guy.
Yeah, he's innovating. He's innovating exorcisms.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They'll do him Telemundo next time. Just announce them. Have a seat, please. Tie yourself to the nearest chair.
If you feel you have problems, step out on your roof. The fire truck will be by shortly.
That's the strangest thing. That's a lot. That's a lot. Even at 94, that's a lot.
Yes. Now, here's where that Malachi, he's kind of broken with the church because of books he wrote. He wrote a series of like 10 books, and it's going to take me forever to whittle through all of them. But anyways, so you got this Vatican II thing that happened, right?
Okay, tell me.
Haven't a clue.
Vatican II?
Yeah, it's like they changed. It's like the church kind of changed a lot of its policies and procedures.
So they went away. It's like the LDS and the FLDS.
No. Maybe. But anyways, so they no longer do their... somebody let me know if I'm stumbling off course here, please. they went away from doing the whole service in Latin
Okay.
and other stuff. I don't know what they are.
Okay.
We'll have a show on it once I know. Anyways, he said about it, the new rite of exorcism is a farce, an incredible obstacle that is likely to prevent us from acting against the demon.
So they changed the way they exercise.
Yes, he says the new exorcism rite forbids exorcisms on people who have been reportedly subjected to evil spells.
Okay, wait. That wasn't in the other one?
It must have been, but now it's not in the new one.
And he's saying that evil spells are a real thing.
He says,
and it's important for us to be able to exercise based on that.
He says, absurd evil spells are by far the most frequent causes of possessions and evil procured through the demon. At least 90% of cases, it is as good as telling the exorcist they can no longer perform exorcisms.
So, okay. All right. You can become demon possessed if someone casts a spell on you?
What if the spell is a demon possessed spell?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have a big issue with this because then I could just be like, going along, living my life. Someone casts a demon spell on me.
Mm-hmm. Now, he wrote 2 books.
Okay.
I have not read them yet. They're in the mail. I'll be here one day. An exorcist tells his story.
Oh, does he like recount some of the juicy exorcisms?
Yeah, her head spun around. She said, how did it go on the show? Your mother serves demons in hell or something. Can't remember. And an exorcist, more stories.
And an exorcist.
And I imagine these books are dry. I'm kind of nervous for him to show. Actually, I might get them, and then you read them.
That's a terrible idea. I would read them.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the idea.
He didn't like yoga either.
I had read that. He said it was tantric or...
Yeah, it was evil.
It was
now,
evil.
Granted, tantric comes from Karma.
Sutra?
No, from the god. Anyways, the god assigned to tantric, we talked about him before. That's the one that even like up until 10 years ago in India, they were sacrificing humans for.
Up to 10 years ago.
What was the god's name?
I can't remember.
Kama. It could be Kama or whatever. We'd have to dig back into one of our old shows.
So
we talked about that on the human sacrifice.
So they're still doing exorcisms through the Vatican.
But they're not doing good ones, according to him. They're doing Exorcist light. You know, like right here, I've got a Guinness, right?
It's not a light.
That's a beer. And then if over here I had a Bud Light, that's not a beer. It's not going to provide me the same
outcome,
the same pleasure as the Guinness.
So that is another question. Because to do something as long as he did, you either have to enjoy the power, because if you can truly exorcise demons, if you can truly remove possessions, expel demons from other humans, you're a pretty powerful guy.
Yeah,
I mean, as far as the
You'd
hierarchy
have to be a bold
of humans
dude,
goes.
because like if someone said on the other side of that door is a demon, I'm not going to other side of said door.
Correct.
It's just not going to happen.
And if he truly believes that these demon possessions take place, which, you know, if you're doing it that long, I think you'd have to, unless he's paid really well.
Well, I do know that priests get paid, right?
But do they get like an extra bump, like commissions for exorcisms?
Maybe it's like, you know, if you've got, maybe it's pretend Boy Scouts got paid. And for each little
Pretend.
patch you sewed on, you got a little more,
Little
another
bump.
nickel.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like that.
So if he believes in what he's doing, which given his history, and I mean, he really dove into this, and he was frustrated when they changed it and made it, exorcism light.
Yeah, he grumbled about that a little bit, didn't he?
But then he has to have seen some things,
Oh, yeah.
because perception is everything.
Well, and even then, I mean, there would have to have been. I mean, here's my big question. So if he went in with, let's say, psychologically impaired people and did this exorcism, did it help them?
So that's kind of like the sugar pill theory. The science has proven that these, giving people the sugar pill.
But did it help them long term? Or or did he have to become a monthly visitor?
Yeah, because boy, there wouldn't be any staying power as far as mental health goes. If you're truly suffering from,
let's say, schizophrenia.
Yeah, there's no way that would help with schizophrenia. As a matter of fact, it would likely exacerbate it.
Oh, you think they might hear the voice of God a bit more, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be traumatic.
That's a big question.
Schizophrenia, maybe some mood disorders, it may alleviate temporarily. When you kind of talk yourself out of them, like, I'm fine. Look, I was just exercised. I'm good. But if you truly have a chemical imbalance, if you're truly suffering from some level of, chemically induced and not just situationally induced mental illness, then no, this would be traumatic. This would not help. It would hinder.
Oh, I could imagine it'd exacerbate anything.
Do they get psychiatric training, these exorcists?
Ooh.
Are they like so that they can then maybe determine, like, as they arrive, they have like these little questionnaires, and they're like, yeah, no, I don't think you're.
But I mean,
But in the face of religion,
if we look at psychologists, though, I mean, the stuff they used to do.
Yeah.
I mean, not just lobotomies, but what they did with
shock
hysterical
treatment.
Housewives. They do shock treatments again today.
Yeah, shock treatments are
They're
still
back in vogue.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Apparently they work now.
Well, perhaps they've dialed it down a little bit.
That or figured out. I mean, that one we talked about, that lady that was in on MK Ultra, they cooked her. They
removed her memory permanently.
They smoked her brain. She didn't know who her family was.
They would shock her. She was in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
She was placed into a hospital following the birth of her last child. Looking at it
probably
now,
post-menopause.
It was likely postnatal depression.
Is it postnatal?
Yeah.
Postmenopause. Yeah. Postnatal depression.
Yeah, and so she was likely suffering from that, and what they did is they induced coma-like states with heavy drugs, and then they shocked her into seizure states.
Yeah, well, they knocked her. Didn't they keep her for like 8 days or something?
Oh, she was in there months.
Months and
months.
Just cooked her. And when she got out, she didn't know her husband. She didn't know her kids.
Yeah. And they actually settled. It took her daughter a long time to get them to release the records, but they actually got a settlement out of it.
And it was all for a test to see if they could make a Manchurian candidate.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's in our past MK Ultra show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of that. Her. But there's been lots of times where psychiatric patients have been used as guinea pigs, and not always to the betterment of their current state.
So do you think that maybe this exorcism via the Catholic Church might be?
Okay, so if there are physical things happening, like people being thrown about.
But what if there are demons, Betsy?
Yes, that's the thing. If there are physical things happening.
What if Cardboardo is in here right now?
Bordeaux's lame. He doesn't give us any
Yeah.
evidence.
I know he'd be a boring possessor. I'd start putting the toilet paper on the roll backwards, and lame.
But if there's a physical manifestation, which I'm interested to read his book when she get it, because if there is a physical manifestation, that's different.
Yes, you are
And
interested to read your book when I get it.
And I think that if you're going to give credit at all to exorcisms, if they're going to have their place, there needs to be a psycho evaluation of some sort.
Apparently there is now, from what I've seen on Law and Order.
But was he upset about that? The evaluation?
He may be. He may not like the head shrink from the NYPD showing up first. That little Asian guy.
Yeah. I like the little Asian guy.
I did too. I thought he was dang good. I didn't like it when they replaced him. Who'd they bring in after? It's like he never just showed up again. But for a minute there,
they wanted us to believe it was him.
Oh, Dave asked, can demons make sandwiches? Are you thinking about getting Patricia a demon? Need to up them sandwich skills. Tell Patricia I'm sorry.
Patricia, do we need to exorcise your husband? I mean, exorcisms bother me on several levels. One, if these are people who are truly suffering from demon possession, I think we should have a facility of some kind that they can go to. I don't think that these things should be done in their home or, behind closed doors with priests and things.
Would it be more comfortable that it's done in the home for them, though? I don't know anything about.
So what happens to the demon when it leaves? Does he cast it out of their house? Does it go to the neighbors?
Is there a demon box?
There is the Dybbuk box.
On Ghostbusters, they had that little nuclear box they throw out.
So if truly we have a possession happening, I want them to be like qualified. Like qualified.
So you want to have a priest shrink?
Well, I want, okay, fine. Make them go together like a team.
Ooh.
Like you're vetted first.
Yeah.
And if there's not a true
Sherlock
possession,
Holmes and Dr. Watson.
If there's not a true possession and you're doing an exorcism,
how scary would it be if you were having a mental break?
Yeah.
And in walked that priest.
The bug-eyed priest, and he's throwing water on you and smacking you with his Bible.
He's got this shaved head and got a purple humming on.
And he's holding you down on the bed. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And why don't priests use squirt guns for the holy water?
Why gotta get so close?
I mean, seriously, they could super soak. Probably wouldn't even have to say a prayer. They could just bathe the demon right out of you.
Or we could just put it in our water supply like they do fluoride.
Yeah, fluoride.
Then we would know.
Yeah.
As they're wandering around.
They're probably, that one priest is probably looking into that right now. And if he's not,
shooting it from the helicopter.
Yeah, the one that's doing the airdrop. Makes you wonder if he's going to play Flight of the Valkyries. He flies over Rio de Janeiro. Coming in off the mountain above that Jesus. It's doing one of these numbers. Drop in low.
He's
got the sun in the background. So it's silhouetted in front of him.
People are standing out there. Yeah, I think I have lots of questions still about exorcism.
Yeah, I do too.
Are they still doing it? Is there a hotline? Is that National Institute of Exorcism or exorcists available for anyone to join? Do I have to be an exorcist?
Do you have to be Catholic?
Do they have a newsletter? Do I have to be Catholic? Is it exclusive to
Might
catechism?
take a little more preparation to get you in there than it is MUFON, Betsy.
You think so?
Well, if I've got to make you a priest.
Yeah, I may need to convert.
Yeah.
And then become a priest. Can girls be priests?
No, yeah, become
a guy. Well, that's a long.
Cody's not going to enjoy this road.
This ain't going to be fun. Yeah.
All right. So the lines are open, 437-838-5171. If you have hopefully
a comment or a question.
Yeah.
It's strange to me. The exorcism. It's a monthly subscription, David says.
for the low price of $19.95. You'll get not one, but two priests. Wait, there's more.
Oh, I'm gonna look right now. International Institute of Exorcisms. Do they hold like conferences?
I told you they play Scrabble.
Well, I don't want to go for Scrabble.
You might get good at Scrabble, especially the Italian.
There's an
priest.
International Institute of Tolerance.
What do you got to tolerate?
Well, I don't know, but let's see.
All right, doesn't look like anyone wants to.
Exorcism. There's an International Institute of Exercise. That's not what I'm going for. Okay. International Association of Exorcists.
Yeah, that's the one.
Wow. It was founded in 1990, people. This is not that old.
No.
Okay, so it says, although the membership is restricted and exclusive, by the year 2000, there were 200 members who meet biannually in Rome, 2 times a year.
Okay.
The association sends out a quarterly newsletter, boom, knew it, where members can tell of particularly interesting or difficult cases. Now, an exorcist priest must have the permission of his bishop to join the group. Great. Another red tape for me to get through. First, I got to be a guy. Then I got to join catechism. Then I got to be a priest. I'm too old for all of that.
Are you sure?
So,
is there a cutoff age for being a priest like there is with the military or police forces?
now, a priest is required by canon law to be devout, knowledgeable, prudent, and respected for his integrity. What if he's not respected? That's kind of that's a squidgy area. So weird.
Dave says we need to go to this conversation.
Do we weird. Anyway.
I wonder. Well, anyways,
exorcisms.
So, well, we're going to close down the show now.
So much exorcism.
We need to get more priests watching to call in and tell us
about exorcism.
Yeah. I'd like to know. But he did say in one of his quotes that the exorcism on The Exorcist was rather
what?
Kind of factual. He said the theatrics of the subject was a little overblown, but what The Exorcist did was factual.
No, but can you get possessed by a demon if you're an exorcist? Do you then need an exorcism?
It's exorcistception.
I came with lots of questions tonight.
Yep, and I came with 0 answers. Just
some of them you may never know the answer
just
to. None of us will.
Creepy looking cool dude. You know who he kind of looks like to me?
Who?
Aleister Crowley.
He does kind of. They all kind of look the same.
Yeah.
And the Pope is Satan. Y'all learned that tonight.
He has red shoes.
Convention. They probably do have convention. What do they do at convention?
Go to Vegas. Roll craps in their robes.
Oh, stop it. It's too much. It's too much. Exorcism.
Yep. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah. Good talk.
Yeah. And we'll meet you next week. And when those books come in,
I get to read.
Betsy gets the pleasure of reading them. I'll bet they're dry as hell.
I'm sure they're just
I'll
chalky.
I'll bet it's like reading We Were Soldiers Once. I tried that. Oh, God. It's a really long after action review by a colonel. It was rough. All right. Thanks for joining us. And
you guys have a great week.
Yes. Have a great week.
and a feeling chill, not a sign of movement.